Welcome to the session number 8 on Vedic Sandhya, meditation and meaning and practice. Last week we decided in the segment related to action, karma, we were able to scan through 4 directions. Let me show you that website related to the Vedic Sandhya. Yeah. So starting from this Om Shanno Devi up to the Suya Chandama Saudhata. This is the knowledge part, knowledge segment, Jnana. And even here there are 2 subdivisions about me, myself, and the entire universe. And the common factor is that Ishwar. That awareness has been brought in this segment number 1 related to the knowledge. Then we enter into the action, karma, and there are 6 of directions because we notice that our karma is very important. What makes us superior to or uniquely different from all other species. There are 2 factors. One is division of labor. We specialize in certain things. So we have all kinds of trades and professions. While in other species, there may be some variations, but more or less every member of a particular species does the same thing what other members do. But in our case, we have a very wide ranging different professions. But in any particular profession, we are, as a human being, I have freedom of thought and then I can translate into freedom of action. Freedom of thought is our discriminatory ability in our intellect, buddhi, whereas other species are governed by, to a large extent, by their instinctive capabilities that have been embedded in their mind at the time of birth. We are instinctively very quite poor, but we are intellectually, we can become very superior. So that freedom of thought, which is our discriminatory ability in our intellect, results in freedom of action. That even though I know what is my genuine desired righteous action, I can do contrary to that. Or to put in simple terms, other species always follow their dharma. They have no choice. A cow must behave like a cow. But we, even though as a human being I know my dharma, what is desired action, yet I can deviate from it. So in their case, karma is always aligned with their dharma, while in our case, karma can be very different from what my dharma is. That's why human species are called as karma yoni, whereas others are merely bhog yoni. They are just leading their life as they are expected to do. So that was the background we discussed, that if I want to succeed in upasana, then my karma must be of very superior quality. So our quality of karma lead to categorization. That is a very unique feature among human species. And just to say that average human beings are, so to say, manushya, average human. It can go downslide as what is called rakshas, bad people who harm others. And on the positive side, I can become a devata. I can give goodness to others, increase others' happiness. So they are categories of positive side devata, average is manushya, and downslide is rakshas. So last 2 weeks ago, we started this segment of karma, and we are now by now we are through four of these mantras. Notionally, looking at four directions. So just to review them quickly, there are four pairs in first of the three parts of these mantras. First is Prachi Dig, then Agni Adhipati, and Asito Rakshita Aditya Ishava. So first pair is just giving a name of the direction, the front. And pertains to very important ingredient of knowledge. I must gather the knowledge which is relevant to that particular trade and profession that I want to exercise. I want to contribute to the society. So that knowledge, that specific knowledge related to that particular profession, that is of course is the very first ingredient if I want to work in the human society and present myself as with some expertise. So there are three tiers. Let's start from the lowest one, Aditya Ishavaha. So when I want to get certain specific kind of knowledge, the very first from whom I get it first hand, my teacher, he should be Aditya. Means he should be a learned person who has accurate understanding of the knowledge, who has no doubt. Having no doubt is called Aditya. Aditya is a negation of duality. So there is no riddle in his mind. He is definite that this is 2 plus 3 is 5. He is so certain. Then only he can teach with confidence. That is the first year of my knowledge acquisition exercise. Then all this should be made possible under the tutelage of some senior educators who should be Asito Akshita. So they are protecting that the process of knowledge transmission, say in a school, college, university, wherever it is, where I am in contact, direct contact with an Aditya, a teacher, but that whole facility is facilitated by more mature person who are protectors of that organization, that process, and they are Asita. Asita is they are unfettered. They don't have loyalty to anybody, anything, anybody in the world. They are loyal to the truth and truth only. They cannot be bought. So their loyalty is to the true knowledge. And of course, the third tier is always that supreme consciousness, that is Agni Adhipati, who is always the infinite reservoir of that thing. The first direction is pertaining to knowledge, and he is infinite. In our case, we gather knowledge from somebody else, but in his case, he is embodiment of that knowledge. What Maharishi Dayananda writes in very first principle of I Samaj, सब सत्य विद्या और जो पदार्थ विद्या से जाने जाते हैं उन सब का आदि मूल परमेश्वर. That supreme being is the root of all the true knowledge. So he has the knowledge. Based on that knowledge, he makes the universe. So this pattern is going to be there in all the six directions. So there will be tier one, whom I come in direct contact, that is protected by a larger organized body. And all this is happening because of that supreme consciousness, who is the infinite reservoir of that ingredient. And then the second part is Tebhyo Namo Adhipatibhyo. As I make the progress, I should become more and more humble. And as I make progress, there is very likelihood in the human society somebody will be jealous of me or I will be jealous of somebody. All this should be set aside. Otherwise, you don't really make real progress. So, this was the first direction related to the front direction, very first related to the knowledge acquisition. Then we discussed the second direction to my right, and right hand is representing the skill part. So, knowledge and skill are two wings of a bird, so to say. They are both important. In certain profession, knowledge is more important, skill is less. But there are certain professions where skills are more important. But not to belittle anything, both of them are very, very important. So here the three tier is starting from the first tier, Pitaya Ishava. So the person with whom I am coming in direct contact, who is giving me his skill, I must be, I must be his protege, so to say, because skills are not easy to get from books. This comes through direct contact. And generally, as we see in the world, anybody passes on his trade secrets skill only when the teacher is confident that this is a worthy disciple, worthy student. And that bonding is very, very important. That is reflected in the term Pitaya. Pita is also the word for father. So, father and child relationship or mother child relationship is a bit unusual in the sense as child progresses, even if a child overtakes in certain talents and attributes his mother or father, they never have jealous or envious feeling. Indeed, they become proud of it. So that kind of relationship, if I have with my vocational teacher, then only he is going to convey, pass on his secrets how to, in terms of skills. So that should be the tier one. Tier two is the Yashchiyaji Akshita. It should be under the patronage of some who are skill masters, and they are called as Tiyashchiyaji. Tiyashchi is curved lines, and Raj is one who has full authority. So an artist can draw a curved line very fluently, without any much of effort, and suddenly a nice picture emerges out of it. So that kind of a skilled person will be Tiyashchiyaji Akshita. It's always in sports or in any kind of thing where skills are more important. These things are so relevant. And of course, all this is under the benign presence of that supreme consciousness who is referred to here as Indra. Indra is a sovereign power who is emperor of, uh, in his case, for the entire universe. And this has a synonym of my consciousness also, because Indra is one who owns all the organs in the earth. So Indra is also here. Previously, we referred to Adhipati as Agni, Swapakash, who is self enlightening, because he did not borrow knowledge from anybody. He is self enlightening. And now that supreme consciousness has been referred to as Indra, as a emperor. So the ownership. So here the idea is if you want to create more wealth, if you want to be a very rich man, then you have to pay more attention to the skill part. So you know it probably in the worldly sense. If you are a very knowledgeable person, you become a professor, you get a lot of respect, but not that much money. If you are very skilled, say in certain games, tennis or anything, you can make millions of dollars. So, you know, a skilled person goes after, is able to derive a lot of, earn a lot of money. So that connotation is also there here. Anyway, we are looking at balancing the life, so knowledge and skill. Let's continue further, which we did last week. Patichi Digvaruno. So this was the third direction on my backside. On my backside, usually we want to say something which is very, very important, that I have taken care of that at the outset. So that doesn't bother me at all. That is reflecting my backside. Backside is not that I am unaware of that or I don't consider them important. It is other way around. It is so much important that it has to be taken care of right at the outset. So much that you can say it is back of my mind because I have already taken care of. So here the three layers, three tier was Annamishava. Food grain is most important. If you don't buy your grocery in the weekend, then in the middle of the week, how can you concentrate on your knowledge and skill development? Because you will have to worry about many things. When I reach home in the evening, is certain commodities is there or not, so on and so forth. So in the a intelligent person will always use the weekend to buy the grocery, everything for the following week, and make sure there is nothing lacking in his household. If some minor repair is to be done, he will take care of all that, so that in the following days of the weekdays, he is not worried about those things. They are all very essential. Their necessity is reflected as Annamishava. Food gain is the tier one. Then Pedaku Akshitan. Pedaku is Palanayo, means anything that is necessary for my survival. And Varuna Adhipati, of course, Varuna is another name for their supreme consciousness, where Avarane, he covers the whole thing. He is like a huge like ocean. So he is a infinite reservoir of all kinds of things. Food, water, air, whatever you think of. And of course, at my home, in my household, I don't need infinite reservoir. I just want the necessary amount of commodities so that for certain days I can sail through my life and my family has no problem. They don't complain absence of anything. So that counterpart, essential, necessary commodities that should not be overlooked. That is the third ingredient if you want to succeed in life. Then we notice the fourth direction, which is reflecting my left hand, which is also given a name Ut. Ut is, in our Sanskrit grammar, Uttama. Ut is going high, making progress. Further progress is Uttara. Uttam is superlative, means that is at the highest level. And we will see these mantras, Ut, Uttar, and Uttam in the Upasthan mantra next week. So that is, I just made this remark. So the left hand is given itself as a name of progress. Now, with all these three ingredients there, progress is definitely guaranteed provided we take care of the fourth ingredient. And fourth ingredient is the third layer is Somadipati. Som is Somyata, what is called serenity. So, in any pursuit in human beings, whatever you are doing, you may be working alone in your research center or in a library, but finally there is a give and take relationship. Even as a university professor, you will have students, you are teaching in a classroom, or you are guiding some research scholars. So there is somebody on the other side. If you have a business house, you have a client. If you are manufacturing, then you are selling something to somebody else. So, whatever, even if you are a plumber, you serve somebody. So, in a human society, there is nobody is individual alone. You are always interacting with somebody else. So, when you interact with somebody else, the relationship should be based on very genuine love and care. So today also in business terms, they call about customer care and so on and so forth. But we are talking here genuine care. So that is what it is reflected in Som Adipati. Som is another name for the moon. You know, the light generally has a heat component like sunlight. So in the summer, sometimes we feel that sunlight is making the weather too hot and it is unbearable, is it not? But that is how the moonlight is slightly different. In the full moon, moonlight is giving a kind of a soothing sensation. Though it is a light, but it is unusual light that it is, whenever you look at it, it's very charming. It can never be unbearable like sunlight can sometimes become, but moonlight can never become like that, is it not? So that is the name for the moon, Som. Surya, which is the name for the sun, is also the name for that Ishwar. So all these are devatas in the sense they are the agents of the Ishwar to give us some of the goodness. So the sun gives us some goodness, it is a devata, it is called Surya. But the term Surya is actually in the name for Ishwar also. So Ishwar is an infinite Surya who makes that, in his comparison, a tiny Surya, a sun, so that we get heat and light. So the same thing. The word Som is the name for that supreme consciousness Ishwar and is also name for the moon. So certain characteristics of Ishwar are obtained by us via the entity that is called as moon. So that supreme consciousness is infinitely Som, while the moon is in a finite sense is Som. So this is a allegorical, very unique feature of the Vedic language. So let's look at it. I have described Som as serenity. So now Ishava is, as a very first level, Shani is slow. Ashani is not slow. That means spontaneous. So that spontaneity is the key thing here. Like let's look at a child, a small child. You return home after a long day's hard work, but that little child smiles at you, and that forces you to smile back. For a moment, you forget your tiredness. So that is the power of Som that that child has because he is innocent, natural, small. He doesn't know the intricacies of life. He is full with that inner energy, and that is his ashani. What is his ashani? That the father and mother, though they are tired, they have so much of anxiety, maybe stress, but at least when they see their child smiling, they spontaneously smile back. So that power of that child is he is ashani, is it not? So he's a small human being, but he reflects ashani ishava. So we should learn from this little child that energy that puts me in a default state as permanent smile. So if I that should be a human objective. That's what this mantra is saying. As I am progressing in life, I should learn. I should preserve my that childlike property that permanent smile should remain on my face. If I have learned that, I have I have been become qualified as Ashani Shava. And then what is happening? The next layer is Swajo Yakshita. Swa means self. Ja is to take birth, self generation. So the context here is serenity. So now, you enter into a store, the salesperson smiles, and you also smile back. But this is a very outer smile, is it not? Imagine you meet somebody who has serenity within, not just outer smile, but deep within him, there is that serenity that you get touched by him. And then you say that I also wish I grab a part of that. And that motivates you to become like that. And you actually have put one or two steps in that particular direction. So that person who can implant a few doses, a small uh, ingredient of serenity is called swaja. You know, so a child, of course, forced you to smile back, but imagine at a higher level. I am sure every human being has met some other human beings, and that has left a permanent mark in your memory that that person was remarkable. Even against all the odds, he was always with positive attitude and so on and so forth. So that kind of a person is Swaja. Swaja. He will be your, if you are in under his guidance, you will definitely become quite a bit like him. And all this is happening under the presiding entity of Som. So this was a review of that, what we had discussed in last 2 weeks. And this is a kind of a break we are taking now. These four ingredients nobody can deny. Indeed, anybody who is successful in today's world by worldly standards will have these four ingredients. The richest man, the Nobel Prize winner, anybody who is in a important position or is well known must be having these four ingredients, without which he would not have succeeded to this position. But then one would think, is it not that enough? That's what we want to say. With these four ingredients, yes, I will become a successful man in the eyes of the world. Maybe people will want to interview me, television channels, etc., or in newspapers, and many people want to gravitate to me for different reasons. But you will agree probably that this is worldly success. This is not guaranteeing the devatva, you know. That's where the story started from. So when it comes to upasana, this is not enough. This is necessary but not sufficient. So the two other necessary ingredients are now discussed today, which are very important. And let's look at them and see what is the Vedic philosophy about karma, what are these additional ingredients, so that I am successful in the worldly sense as well as in the eyes of the Ishwar. That is very important. Otherwise, Upasana is not my business. I should leave it to others. Let's see. Dhruvadik. Now, this is the direction below. And these terms are also very important. Dhruv means something which is stationary, which never moves. So the foundation of a building has to be strong. Otherwise, a mild earthquake can demolish the whole building. So, as a human being, what is my foundation? That's what is now required, which is not visible. You see a building, you don't see its foundation. So, in the worldly standard, nobody sees the foundation of a human being. So, the previous four ingredients were enough for by the worldly standards, But now we are talking about being a Devta in the eyes of Ishwar, who knows every tit and bits about everything, not only what I do, even the intentions behind that, even the thought process behind that. He knows ins and outs of me. He knows me more than I know myself, is it not? So, in his eyes, I cannot hide anything. So, the people may not be seeing the foundation of a building, but those who are experts will know it. And this is the what we are talking about. Dhruva, the lower direction, that is Dhru, the term Dhru itself is, it is steadfast, it is stationary. Now the Adhipati, Vishnu Adhipati. Vishnu is Vishla Vyapta, who is all pervading. So one who is all pervading will know even what is under the surface of the earth, is it not? So he will know everything in the lower direction, which is not easy to know for a common person. Then the next page, Kalmasha Giyo Rakshita. Kalmash is as if there is a stamp. Giva is our neck. So as if that kind of a person, imagine a person who has been stamped on his neck, that he is a genuine person. Who is the genuine person? Vyudha Ishavaha. Vyudha is a kind of a plant. These are keeping plants. Not like a oak tree, not like a banyan tree. Banyan tree, oak tree, mango tree, and all these are huge trees. But if there is a huge tornado, they may fall down, even the strongest tree. But there is a funny kind of plants which rise very, they take support of certain other things, but they are very flexible. So a keeping plant is unusual. It has its roots in the ground, but when it comes up, it is very flexible. So even if the wind blows, it goes along with it. It will not be uprooted like a huge tree will be uprooted, is it not? It's a very interesting analogy given that you should never be uprooted. So this is where our moral code of conduct is coming. Moral code of conduct that yes, I will make all that progress, the progress that we have described in the worldly sense in the four directions, but preserving my human attributes, which are my foundation, and come what may, I will be like the keeping plant. I will be steadfast as if everybody will know it, that this man will never compromise his principles, as if that is stamped on my neck somehow. No, it is just an analogy that people, and we know in our community, in our society, there have been people who went through all kinds of ups and downs, but they never compromised from their basic principles. And then through those tests, through those difficult periods, they emerge and then they obtain all kinds of admiration of all, universal admiration, is it not? So, because they never compromised on the principles. So, that is what the lower direction is about. Our moral code of conduct, we should never give up on our principles and we should stay grounded even as we go up. We should never disconnect from our ground realities, which were where we came from, our principles. That's why I am a human being and I will never compromise on that. So this was fifth ingredient where the three tiers is keeping plant is my motivator, Kalmash Givo Akshita. They are well known. There are some people always in the society, in any nation, who are well recognized. They may not be very successful in the worldly sense, but they have balanced their life in total sense. They never compromise their principles. Those kind of people are Kalmash Giva Akshito. And of course, that Vishnu, who is the presiding entity, that Ishwar, because we can never hide from him. You can you can escape from the police forces, from the justice mechanism of any government. You can plan all kinds of things, but you can never get away from that Vishnu Adipati who is everywhere, who knows what is happening within you even before you know it. So, this fifth direction is dedicated to our moral principles. Let's look at sixth also. Then we end with the segment of karma. And with all these six ingredients put together in a proper proportion, you are bound to become a Devta who is welcome in his lap. Let's look at this is Urdhvadik. Urdhva is, of course, loftier upper direction. So even these meanings are, every word has a very deep meaning. Behaspati Adipati. Now, Behaspati is Behad. This is huge, large, greatest. Now, this is the greatest person. Who is the greatest in all aspects? That supreme being. So now you are talking about becoming a great person. Greatness is that should be your role model. That supreme consciousness who is great in all aspects. Behad, Pati. Not only he is Behad, he is the protector of everything that is great. So the whole universe is huge and large. He is the owner and master of all that. Shvitra Yakshita, this is the second tier. Shvitra Yakshita, the protector should be Shvitra. Varsha Mishava, the first tier is Varsha. Of course, we are talking about above our heads. So, what do we see? The clouds that make rain. Rain is called as Varsha. So, that should be my first motivator, first teacher. Who are the first teacher? That causes the rain. So we all consume water and pollute it, but then this is the natural water cycle. Clean filter water again comes back to my house in my backyard, is it not? So that now this is a giving mode. That's what Devatva is all about. So there couldn't be a better analogy than rain making clouds. That they store tons and tons of clean filter water where the water was polluted in the rivers, dams, lakes, and oceans, but it has been filtered. And now they are pouring it on wherever you are. And that's where this word, the second layer, becomes so important. Svitra Yakshita. Who should be the next layer? Again, it is the same clouds, but now they are referred to as Shvitra. Shvitra, Shwa is also for Shvet, pure, purity, white. There is always protection, Mitra. Shvitra means one who is protector of good people, good people. Now it is giving mode, but clouds are very interesting analogy that they come to you, you don't go to them. When you need clean filter water, you may have to walk to a well or a lake or a river, but clouds are totally class apart. They come to your house, is it not? They come to your house. And that's what we want to become like Switha in the sense I want to find good people in the society, in the neighborhood or elsewhere, and I want to go to help them. I will not wait for them to come to me. So I must go into giving mode like a rain making cloud who gives clean filter water, but go a step further that I am not waiting in my home. If somebody comes, I will give them something what he needs. Rather, I will go and look for those who I need. And those who I need are also two kinds. Even just like Rakshas and Devta, every community, every society has these kind of categories. So, Devtas are usually of that kind. They somehow manage their affairs, even if going is not good. They don't complain, but they may be having some sort of difficulties, which they will not talk about. So it is my duty to find out and locate each and every devta and see what is deficient in them, what is bothering them, what is troubling them, and help them out. So this is not that I am waiting for, I am empowered, I want to give something, whatever I have in excess. It could be money, it could be other commodities, or it could be knowledge also, whatever it is. But I am not waiting for people to come to me. I will go and find out who are deficient in that thing in which I am access. So there is always an imbalance in society. Somebody is deficient in something and somebody has access of this. If those distribution problems are solved, like they say, the earth has enough for everybody's needs, but doesn't have enough, even one person's wants. Is it? If there is one greedy person, the earth cannot satisfy him. But it has enough for all the people's needs. So what is the problem? Slight problem about production, but more is problem of distribution. So that's what devatas can do because they will take care of this distribution problem. They will find what is excess here, what is deficient here, and they will balance it out. And then here it is being said, yes, when you go to attempt to figure out others' deficiency, you give preference to devatas, good people, Shwitya. Of course, if there are natural calamities, some flood and earthquake, then we don't distinguish between. We want to help everybody. But if these are normal circumstances, then it is our duty to locate good quality people first and take care of them. And then, if still we are in access, then look at others. So the word switha is protection of the pure, nice people. So I should be more selective here because my access is not infinite access. I have something in access. If I give away just like indiscriminately, then I will find out that even good people are in deficiency. They are going through difficult phase. So I should favor doing where the help is needed. So you should find out where the help is needed most, and there you should try to do that. So that way we are now in today's third session. We have covered the action karma aspect of this trinity of Jnana, Karma, and Upasana in a very concise manner because Sandhya is basically Upasana. But still, our ancient rishis have made it a point that we just don't recite the mantras, we get to their meaning, and this order is very, sequence is very, very significant. That they made three segments of the mantras. First was knowledge, very concise knowledge about me and the world I live in. Then six mantras on six ingredients so that I can balance my life properly and not do something excessive and at the cost of another ingredient. And then we have said, yes, four ingredients were, anybody will say they are important from worldly sense. But here we are talking about a upasak. He is not concerned with TV interviews and newspaper articles and his photographs. He is concerned with success in the eyes of Ishwar because he wants to perfect, improve his capability in upasana. So here the qualification is to be judged by Ishwar, and that's why what we have discussed today, ingredient number 5 and 6, are very, very important. If these are your driving force, then everything will be fine. Whatever is your status, whatever is your profession, you will succeed in upasana. In our ancient tradition, like in one Upanishad, one Rishi, Yakva, what is he? He is a driver of a bullock cart. That was his means of livelihood, is it not? So, just like in today's context, we will say he is a truck driver. A truck driver is merely transporting goods from one place to another, but still he is a rishi. So, whatever is your profession, you can lead a life of Devta category and then you become qualified, and that we'll discuss in the next couple of weeks. So, let's perform the Sandhya as we have been doing almost the way we did last week. And I think last week we did not look at this particular website, and I think I think some of you are now familiar with the these mantras, or if you are not, you may have access to a book, and you can use that book. But now our objective is more the substance of Sandhya, which we have always maintained. At the climax of Gayatri Mantra, we go through the meditation. That's when our objective is to calm our mind. Then only we can delink from our mind, disengage from our mind. And then, if I am a qualified person, like we have discussed today, definitely. So, Upasthan mantra is like up and sthan, like a child has come close to his mother. And then the climax of Gayatri mantra is as if the mother has lifted the child and has taken him in her arms. That is what we are attempting to be with him. And the necessary condition is to disengage from mind. And that process is facilitated if your life is governed by these principles. And this requires practice, practice, practice. So the way to succeed in it, upasana, is to perform upasana. If you listen to more and more lectures and talks, doesn't help much. It just directs you, motivates you, but finally you have to start doing. It's like learning to swim or drive a car. You have to just get into it. And you have to be honest to yourself. Finally, as Patanjali says, yogas chitta vetti. So after reciting the Gayatri mantra, we are in meditative mode. The guideline for you should be, if anything appears on your mind screen, you want to bring it calm. In one Upanishad, the hint is given. Many people say, what I should be focused on. Then we say the focus is as if you are in an ocean of white milk, as if it is all white milky sky or white milky ocean. So you try to superimpose that in your mind scale. And when you are off that benchmark, recite Om mentally. As you recite Om, that's what Patanjali is saying. Tad japas tadat tasya vachaka pranav tad japas tadat. Just once you recite Om mentally, no sound comes out. That way, you again instruct your mind to be calm. Again, get to that wallpaper. What is the wallpaper here? That white milky ocean. Today, you may have to instruct your mind many, many times. No harm, but be persistent. Few weeks, few months later, you will see. Now I have to instruct my mind much less, much less. So now I buy some more moments of peace when I instruct my mind. It is conditioning of your mind. This is a matter of practice. Nobody else can do this for you. You have to do it. And as there will be a time when you will feel, yes, I am relatively calm in that milky ocean where nothing is happening. Then you are getting into upasana. So if that is not done, just reciting these mantras, then it doesn't work. So let's begin the Sandhya, starting from Om Shanno Devi. ॐ शन्नो देवी अभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये संयोऽभिस्रवन्तु न ॐ वाक्वाक् ॐ प्राणः प्राणम् ॐ चक्षुः चक्षुः ॐ श्रोत्रं श्रोत्रम् ॐ नाभिः ॐ हृदयम् ॐ कण्ठः ॐ शिरः ॐ बाहुभ्यां यशोबलम् ॐ करतलकरपृष्ठे ॐ पुनः शिरसि ॐ भुवः पुनः नेत्रयो ॐ स्वः पुनः कण्ठे ॐ महः पुनः हृदये ॐ जनः पुनः नाभ्याम् ॐ तपः पुनः पादयो ॐ सत्यं पुनः शिरसि ॐ खं ब्रह्म पुनः सर्वत्र ॐ ॐ भुवः ॐ स्वः ॐ महः ॐ जन ॐ तपः ॐ सत्यम्. Let us do 3 cycles of deep breathing called pranayam, each cycle with 4 phases. Deep breathe out, hold the breath out. Om, Om, deep breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, Om. Omritam cha satyam cha vidyatapasu adhyajayato tato atyajayato tata samudro anava. Om samudra danavadhi samvatsaro ajayat ahoratrani vidadat vishvasya mishato ashi. Om surya chandramasau data yatha purvam kalpaya divan cha prithivin chanta Vikshamathos. Om Shanno Devi Avistaya Apo Bhavantu Pitani Shreyo Avisya Vantu Om Prachidagni Adipati Sito Akshita Dityayashavaha Tebhyo Namodipatibhyo Namo Akshitebhyo Namaishubhyo Nama Ebhyo Astu Yosman Dveshtiyam Vayam Dushmastam Vojambe Tatmaha Om Dakshinadivindo Dipatistiyaschi Raji Akshita Pita Tebhyo Namo Dipatibhyo Namo Rakshitibhyo Nama Shubhyo Nama Ebhyo Yosman Dveshtiyam Varam Dushmastam Vojambe Dadma Om Pratiji Padaku Akshita Nahmishava Tebhyo Namo Dipatibhyo Namo Akshitibhyo Nama Ishubhyo Nama Bhyo Astu Yosman Dveshtiyam Vayam Dushmastam Vojambe Dadma Om Udichi Diksomo Dipati Swajo Akshita Ashani Vishava Tebhyo Namo Dipatibhyo Namo Akshitibhyo Nama Ishubhyo Nama Ebhyo Astu Yosman Dveshtiyam वयं दुष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दद्मः। ॐ ध्रुवादिग्विष्णुरधिपति कर्माशग्रीवो रक्षिता वियुधैषव तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः अस्तु। योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं दुष्मस्तं वो जम्भे दद्मः। ॐ ऊर्ध्वादिग्बृहस्पतिरधिपति श्रुत्यो रक्षिता वशमिषव तेभ्यो नमो धीपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः भ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं दुष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दद्मः। ॐ तमसस्परि स्वः पश्यन्त उत्तरम् देवं देवता सूयमगन्मजो ते उत्तमम् ॐ जातवेदसं देवं वहन्ति केतव दृशे विश्वासु ॐ चित्यं देवानामुदगादनीकं चक्षुरमित्यस्य वरुणस्य आप्याद्या वा पृथिवी अन्तरिक्षं सूर्य आत्मा जगतस्तुषश्च स्वाहा ॐ तच्चक्षुर्देवहितं पुरस्ताच्छुक्रमुच्च पश्येम शरदशतं जीवेम शरदशतं श्रूयाम शरदशतं प्यवाम शरदशतमदीन श्याम शरदशतं भूयश्च शरदशतम् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ईश्वर भवत्कृपया निजोपासना धर्मार्थ काम मोक्षान् सद्य सिद्धि भवेत्। ॐ नमः शम्भवाय च मयोभवाय च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवर्तराय च ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. That was our complete the session. Vedic Sandhya, meaning and practice. We'll meet again next week. Thank you.